What's going on, guys? Captain Papi here. Welcome back to the video that no one really asked for but has become a yearly tradition for myself. It is my thoughts on OPTC for 2024. A lot to go through today, as a matter of fact, and it's going to be a very transparent video. Usually in these videos I speak very poetically. At times I try my best to articulate my points as effectively as possible. On top of that, I will do my best to kind of give my thoughts and opinions and everything. Not necessarily be combative as always. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to end up chopping and changing things or just go with one take. We'll see how we go regardless. The way that I want to kind of structure this video is provide my overall thoughts at the very beginning, talk about some community feedback from a tweet that I made. Then I want to kind of go through each of the main kind of game modes and points of the game, where I kind of outline the issues and then also work through the solutions that I have to some of those issues, and then kind of round it out with a few of the quick and fast dot points, and then provide my final thoughts going into 2025. I did prepare a document earlier just for brevity's sake. It is in front of me, so if I look like I'm kind of reading something, that's the case. My camera is here and my visuals is there, so I might look at myself from time to time as well. The document is 3,000 words, 3,319 words to be exact, 9 pages long, and it is specifically dot points and notes, but I may read it verbatim as well. Without further ado, might as well just get started, I suppose. Overall thoughts. Legend burnout has caused this game to drastically decline at a concerning pace. I think this is the biggest problem with Trojan Cruise in 2024. Obviously, there are continued issues surrounding lack of content to play. And again, let's, keep a count if someone wants to do it in the comment section. A count of how many times I bring up some keywords like content cycle, business perspective, and all that kind of fun stuff. But Legend burnout is probably the biggest concern that I've had with Trojan Cruise in 2024. And this is the most evident when we are averaging about 5 legends per month, which is an insane stat. And when you kind of really break that down, if you were the most unlucky person but still intend to get every single legend per month, you are required to essentially spend 7.5 thousand gems per month to acquire all the legends that come out. And that is obviously with the caveats of you being incredibly unlucky. But there are some situations where people are unlucky, and law of large numbers says anything is really possible. So, you could get everything on the first multi. You could also get everything in God knows how many multis after that too. And we've all experienced both facets of life, and that is essentially gacha, and gacha is essentially gambling, to put a blanketly statement out there. But 5 legends a month is an insane stat purely because we are not provided the income from playing the game to warrant that many legends coming out, which is a massive, massive, massive issue. Not to say that we should be given 7,000 gems a month. I mean, hey, I wouldn't be complaining at all. But on average, I think the German community stopped tracking this, but on average, we were looking at anywhere between 300 to 1,000 gems a month, depending on the celebration that was going on, averaging out at about 400 to 500 gems per month. And when you really kind of break that down, if you were to pull in every single banner or wanting to pull for every single legend, in a free-to-play, purely gems you've acquired from playing the game sense, you can only spend roughly 80 to 100 gems per legend, which is 2 multis, which barely makes a dent in acquiring any of these legends to begin with, which is just an insane stat regardless. This is the crux of my issues with Treasure Cruise right now. It's that Legend burnout, and a lot of these terms I'm going to kind of bring up are from a gentleman named Pokemon, or Porky, as you may know him. He's popped up on Stump's channel a lot of times. He's part of our alliance, the Stump Alliance. Incredibly talented and smart man. Very well suited to this game and the puzzle aspect of Treasure Cruise, that is. So a lot of the things he says I take on very heavily and very consistently. Very smart man too. But Legend burnout is just a ridiculous thing for a game that is meant to be, and as is the fundamentals of Treasure Cruise, is meant to be the puzzle. Solve the problems with the pieces that you have. But as we've said time and time again, Treasure Cruise has now purely just become a game that is about efficiency. And efficiency stems from having the boosters and having the units, which kind of leads me to my second point, where fundamental issues with boosters is that you either need to have all of the boosters or have none of them. Having 1 or 2 boosters opposed to the full batch actually makes it harder to clear the content than just not having boosters at all. This again is a really tough problem to kind of decipher as well, where if you have one of the boosters, you're actually Frankensteining a team to essentially force the booster onto the team so that you can get the points that you require. And I think that that is also a big issue with that as well. And I think that you're either in a position where you have to pull for everything or you don't pull for anything at all. And that's where we're at right now. And that's kind of a shitty mentality to play in, because if you're pulling on a TM banner and you happen to get one of the rare recruits, now you're in a weird position where do you just go all out and try to get everything, or do you try to settle with what you have and have to potentially not even use the booster at all? I know for a fact in a lot of situations such as PKA, it is actually worse to run the boosters for PKA. PKA actually provides more value in that weird boost effect where you get an increased chance of an additional turtle or additional Hime from having the unit in general, as opposed to having them in your team to get additional drops. Again, really weird situation, but the boosted units this year has also been a big issue. And again, it's pretty obvious why they're removing the boosters in that kind of sense. And that's purely because money, naturally speaking, in every kind of business, money is the big driving force between anything of the sort. And the fact that their financial means creates an ends to the player, that means that you need to have the boosters to clear the content. If you don't have the boosters, you're running non-boosters, it's going to take you longer. And I think in the recent treasure map that I just completed, it took me about 31 nav levels of non-boosters to clear. Whereas like when I have the boosters, I clear it in like 3 to 5. So like that's 5 to 6 times more gameplay required. We don't have the boosters. Kind of creates a weird environment where people are expected to have the boosters to play. Again, very poor. Another thing that was kind of brought up as part of my overall thoughts, again from Porky, which I think is really incredibly worded. There is a shift from banners designed to promote content to content designed to promote banners, which is an incredibly articulate sentence that in the past, when the puzzle aspect of Treasure Cruise was the first and foremost first and the most important part of the game, was that banners were designed to promote content. Now content is designed to promote banners. So in the past, a banner was created and you'd use those units in the content, but the content didn't require them, but having them was really cool and interesting and fun, and it allowed you to clear more content. And then there was this nice cycle where like picking up certain characters like a V1 Akainu who just shifted your entire account, where like you were able to destroy so much more content, or picking up kind of funky characters like a V1 Mihawk in the past. You were trying to figure out new ways to be able to clear bosses or raids that had previously existed by using a special of additional damage and so on and so on. But now we have content designed to promote banners, and that is every bit of content that exists is competitive, which psychologically brings out this necessity to this primal instinct to kind of do really well. And then you also have every bit of content has boosters, and having boosters means making content easier. These units are bespokely made to clear that specific content most of the time, at least, as in that too. And I think those are the two big points behind this whole idea of content designed to promote banners. And I think, again, Porky once again put this really great mentality that I very much so agree with at the moment, which is shifting your perspective to, these are the 3 dot points. A Super Sugo Fest or any exclusive character is now known as a legend. This is a legend tier character. For the most part, Super Sugo Fest and any exclusive characters are really good. I would argue that any exclusive characters aren't always as good as Super Sugo Fest characters, but you can't take it with a grain of salt. They're legends. A legend in their own regard is now considered a rare recruit. Most of the time when you're clearing content, you're clearing content with 6 legends. 6 legends. You're not using rare recruits, which leads into the last part, where it's rare recruits are fodder. I made a joke on the award show, but genuine with my heart of hearts, I probably could not comfortably tell you what any single rare recruit did this year, because they are so redundant as characters. They might as well make every character a legend going forward. Like, at this point, it doesn't matter. Rare recruits provide nothing. Boosters provide nothing. They're not good characters. The only valuable kind of quote unquote rare recruits are support units, because they have a specific aspect to the game that they provide. And on top of that, you also have Pirate Rumble rare recruits, and again, because they have a specific aspect of the game they provide. And I think the last part here that I had for my overall thoughts, which is kind of weird to do at the very start of the video, but I'll give my final thoughts at the end, is it is really challenging to remain passionate, and doing the bare minimum also feels horrible. I think these kind of two go hand in hand. And again, during the OPTC Awards, I made a comment during Content Creator of the Year, which congratulations to everyone that, placed and did really well. It's obviously to Stump for being Content Creator of the Year, and also to Todd for getting second place. Was that 2024 was a very, very challenging year to make content for Treasure Cruise. I stopped streaming TMs, blitzes, so on and so on, because it is so mind-numbingly boring to create content for Treasure Cruise. And I pride myself on trying to be as entertaining as possible and making the environment really fun to be a part of. But playing TM is mind-numbing. Playing blitz is mind-numbing. I don't really like the team building aspect, which is why I've surrounded myself with people that can team build. And again, that's probably my fault too, but I don't enjoy any of that. And I think that making content for this game is really hard. So obviously kudos to those that continue making content. But unfortunately, for better or worse, the content is Sugo Fest. And as we've just mentioned before, these kinds of Sugo Fests are really bad. EOM's really bad. TM Legends suck. Kazuna Legends suck. The only banners that matter, and this is the Captain Papi certified, is New Year's banner is the most important banner in the game. We've seen time and time again that the New Year's banner produces, for the most part, the best legends of the game. Every year we've seen the exact same thing. That's the most important banner. Global anniversary or worldwide anniversary can be interesting depending on what they release. Obviously, JP Anniversary produced some of the best legends of the game again. They hold value for a very long time. One Piece Day, give or take, depending on how you go. The 0.5 anniversaries again, give or take, depending on how you go. And then the cycle goes back to New Year's. So that's like 5 to 6 banners a year where you can go balls to the wall. Does it suck to play the game, to never have boosters or never have the newest legend or the newest toys? Absolutely. But this mentality is going to keep you playing the game, and it's going to keep you from spending exorbitant amounts of money on a product that is not really providing for its customer base. Plain and simple. That's my overall thoughts. And we're 13 minutes into the video, so we've got a long way to go, unfortunately. Some quick community feedback dot points. I didn't really comment everyone's names, but improving the boosted list. So if Bandai is listening, which first and foremost, I probably should have said at the start of the video, I'm not affiliated with Bandai in any sense of the way whatsoever. So that's plain and simple the first part. I've only just noticed you guys can't really see my eyes because my glasses actually glare to the screen itself, which is kind of annoying. So I apologize for that. But some dot points of Bandai. Boosted unit list needs to improve. Plain and simple. More characters. I don't care. Every TM rare recruit should be boosted on TM. Every Kazuna rare recruit should be boosted on Kazuna. Even every Rumble rare recruit should be boosted for Rumble. In terms of Super Rumble, every Rumble rare recruit should give you points. Every Rumble 11 should give you points, which I think they already do actually. But like, it should give you more points because it's an exclusive unit. Same thing as TM. Every TM rare recruit from literally TM Mihawk to now, which is I think 70 TMs at this point, should be a 1.1x booster, bare minimum. Every legend which is currently boosted should be boosted a little higher. They're TM legends. Same thing. Kazuna legends. Every Kazuna legend should give you a 1.1x ticket boost. It's every rare recruit. Maybe every Kazuna legend gives you also a super boss coin boost. Every Kazuna rare recruit should give you a boost. Plain and simple. You release these units to be exclusive to particular game modes. They should always be boosted, especially if someone is spending money to get these units. Make TM boosters always boosted. Same thing we've said. Bring back game mode specific rare recruits. I have no idea why we've moved away from game mode specific rare recruits to just giving us 15 4-star tickets that provide no value ever, for the most part at least, to then removing the gold tickets altogether and then not replacing them at all. Like, it's a kind of a weird shift, but as we've always said in the past, if you're going to give a gold ticket in Pyro Rumble, make it Pyro Rumble exclusive. If you're going to give a gold ticket in Kazuna, make it Kazuna and support exclusive. If you're going to give a gold ticket in Treasure Map, make it Treasure Map mode exclusive. Plain and simple. More free-to-play characters as well. I think this is very par for the course, purely because we only had 22 free-to-play units from November 30th, 23 to November 30th, 24. 22 over 12 months, which is horrific. And it's slowed down to a snail's pace now because it looks like we won't be getting any more Kazuna free-to-play units going forward as well. More time between legends. I mean, this is just obvious. Look, 5 legends a month is an insane stat, and there is no hope, I think, going forward with that. More bespoke content that isn't the generic content cycle. There you go. There's another content cycle for you to add to the list. Yes, absolutely. If you're going to do an anniversary, make anniversary raids, make anniversary characters, make an anniversary puzzle event, make an anniversary damage ranking event. You have these mechanics, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong myself, I suppose, or in the comment section, I guess, that a lot of the data and the code for these particular game modes has been in the game from the very start and still remains in the game. So nothing's changed. All this stuff is still in the game, which is really odd, and they haven't removed it, which is probably why the game slows for snail pace. So if it's still in the game, repurpose it and let's use it for anniversaries, for One Piece days, all that kind of stuff. Bespoke content's great. Increase the amount of rewards. We have never had rewards change or increase. We've only had them decrease or shift around. In the modern era, there is, I believe we're at 307 or 308 legends now. If you want to do the math on that, and every legend has a limit break plus, it's 2,000 shards of every in total. So 2,000 shards to limit break expand every legend, and that is obviously 400 of every color. So let's round to 2,000. So that's, what is that? 2,000 times 600. What's that? 600,000 limit break shards. That's a bit of a scary number, which means years and years and years and years of playing. If you don't keep up, you're going to get fall behind. Last point, which I actually specifically called out, this is from M_Ricky2215, says, if Kazuna and Treasure Map exclusive legends can be given away for free as the monthly super evolutions, then there's no reason for them to not be available in some sort of ticket. That and bring back support only tickets. I agree. Kind of goes hand in hand with that, but I love calling out the idea that in recent times we've received recently, as of recording, the 6+ is a Kazuna legend of Sanji Pudding, and then last month was a Treasure Map legend of TM Croc, which we have both received for free, which is incredible because they are exclusive legends, so there is no excuse to not give out exclusive characters further on. Also, I probably should have said this at the very start, I'm recording this as the server maintenance is going on, so we may get some stuff that pops up from that too. Okay, 20 minutes in, we are now going to get through the game modes. I'm going to try to do my best to kind of speedrun these and kind of go from there. First and foremost, story mode. The reason why I bring up story mode is that so many people love story mode for some reason. I'm kind of indifferent, but it is what it is. The issues that I've brought to this, although people continue to speak out about how they want more story mode to be added to the game, from Bandai's perspective, it provides nothing, which is correct. Story mode gives them no benefit whatsoever. There's no money that's being spent to complete story mode. Story mode is easy. V1 Kaido by himself can clear the entirety of story mode. Whilst adding story mode islands for the completeness would be great, there is no benefit to do so. These are the two issues that I have. Solutions. Just add the stories islands in and potentially make them challenging. People would love that. People love challenging content. There is no, that is exactly why GARP Challenges, I believe, was voted the second best content in the game, or people's favorite content in the game. Make it challenging. You could even bring back the bat missions. I don't know if those people have been around, for people that are watching this have been around for that long, but the bat missions, they were like a specific subset of 10 missions that you had to complete, and completing all of them actually gave you a ship. You don't have to give us a ship, even though more ships is always awesome, but You can provide players rewards from completing these specific missions by using specific characters, specific cost amounts. Maybe, I don't know, you can look at the exact same system you have for Grand Voyage, make it a lot easier, and put that into story mode. You know, now you're capitalizing on those factors as well. It could be a good opportunity to add a variety of free-to-play characters that have unique support abilities to bolster the roster of supports for some characters. Why I bring this up is that there are a lot of situations where characters come out that are really good or like are very unique in a sense, but then they have no support, so they kind of die off very quickly. So again, story mode is a fantastic opportunity to release those quirky kind of characters that have pretty cool support abilities. Another opportunity there. Another point. Due to the existence of exchange legends, they could also release a farmable legends that appear in story mode. These would be 6-star characters and would have a low drop rate, giving players something to farm, and have the unit be fully maxable via playing story mode. A free-to-play legend, instead of buying them from the various stores, make them farmable. They don't have to be incredible. Exchange Ace level, I think, is perfect, where Exchange Ace does have utility in the game. He can be used. He's not going to be your go-to character, but he has viability, which is very important. And then the last one I have for story mode, in terms of solutions, is add limit break mats, posters, tablets as potential drops, but at a very low rate for some story islands. We all get how business works. Not we all do. Some of us do. Business runs on KPIs. I guarantee you one of the main KPIs of Treasure Cruise is how long people are spending in the game. This is why TM, this is why Kazuna, this is why Blitz Battle all run for a set period of time that is continuous for that period of time. Not that TM runs a bit here and a bit there. It runs for an entire week or 52 hours, not 52 hours. Blitz runs for 52 hours. TM runs for 100 and something hours, and it is a consistent line. The same way as Kazuna works, the same way as Blitz works, the same way as Cult works, the same way as PKA works, because KPIs are extremely valuable in understanding the metrics of your audience and how you're targeting them. If you added things like limit break materials, posters, tablets, potential gold tablets, even that too, at like extremely low drop rates in story modes, people would be spending hours. I would probably have my phone farming all day on islands that drop limit break materials. So I could just have them. On islands that drop posters, even if it was like a 0.01%. What was Carrot's at release? 0.017% chance to pull the new legend. Even if it was at that percentage rate of a drop chance, like people would be burning through stamina to do so. Maybe it won't be 100% viable, but having means to acquire materials not from their specific content is extremely valuable and extremely important. The next point I want to bring up is Grand Voyage. So the issues that I have listed here, which is kind of ironic because we've just recently released, and my beard looks horrible, sorry guys. We've just recently released, also the camera sucks. What's going on, man? I need to suit up and suit out, man. This camera's reeky. Which is ironic, sorry, because we just had a recent Grand Voyage release as well. Nonetheless though, Grand Voyage is meant to be banned as extension story mode. Obviously that wasn't the case. They've released three Grand Voyage quests this year, which is kind of weird because in the past they were releasing them once every 2 months. Now we've released 3 in 12 months, so again, one every 4 months. Kind of odd. We've doubled the distance between them. The issue here is that Grand Voyage was advertised as a mode where you will have the opportunity to go back and use old characters to clear challenging quests. It turned into a mode where at times only 6 specific characters at max everything. So we're talking about limit break expansion, level limit break, potential abilities. At times you needed specific high levels of candy to do certain amounts of damage as well. Could clear the quest. Completely defeating the purpose of why it was released in the first place. I remember explicitly that I don't know if it was the development team or Yoshi himself spoke about Grand Voyage being a mode where you could go back and clear quests with characters that have been sitting in your box for a long time. And it was advertised as such. People got excited because they thought it was a means to do so. But essentially, it was a means to advertise level limit break in its entirety. The other problem is that they only released 2 quests throughout the year, which has now become 3. So there's really, the reward cycle doesn't really keep up. You're not really gaining much from everything, so on and so on. The solutions. Unfortunately, a lot of the solutions are rewards based, and it's very challenging to go back and fix content that is very specifically created. The reason why I put this as a dot point here is because the quest itself is developed to only be fulfilled by a certain amount of characters, and it is very challenging to kind of break the bounds of that, especially to go back and do things. They've never gone back and fixed anything before, so it wouldn't be the case. So again, this is why everything is very rewards based. My first point on that is retroactively add gold tablets at every 5-point increment, rotating between Final Tap, Super Team, and Rush. There is still no way in the game to acquire gold tablets. Gold tablets have been out for I think 4 years now. There's no way to acquire the tablets by free-to-play means or even purchasable means, except like one time during anniversary you could buy them with gems, which is interesting. Even if they brought that back, that'd be great. Because the only way you can max out these characters is by pulling duplicates. How do you pull duplicates? Sugo Fest. It all comes back to the Sugo Fest. We've had so many exclusive Legend release that have these abilities. More tablets are a necessity to progress. Amen. Plain and simple. That guy who wrote this was very smart. But it's very true. The whole point of Grand Voyage is that they released one gold tablet at the 25-point mark. And I think we've now approaching like 80s or 90s in terms of the point marks. So like that's a potential of what? 14 tablets rotating between each one. So you divide that by 3, that's 4 of every tablet now, which is awesome. Again, 4 of every tablet only means you can actually max out 3 units, which is kind of weird as well. But again, that'd be fantastic. Have the option to reset rewards every 6 months. And the way that I kind of had this is that players aren't forced to reset immediately, and items can be stored for use whenever needed. So kind of you get a reset token once every 6 months, and you can use this reset token only if you have cleared every single Grand Voyage island and cleared all the missions associated. So people can't abuse the reset system and go and clear 25, get the gold tablet, and then reset, clear 25. So you have to clear everything, which means that people are still forced to clear everything, but you have the option to reset. That would be incredible. It would provide flexibility in being able to kind of do more, to let people actually get rewards. And because this is a Grand Voyage is a great way to get bounty, to get gems, to get limit break posters, etc., etc. 2 more dot points I have here. The penultimate dot point was, for any new island you create, provide more flexibility in being able to defeat the island by allowing players to use more than just 6 specific characters. I'm gonna have a look here because I did recall that Tony and Stump were looking at defeating the content, and right now through all the screenshots that they've been sending in of the potential ways to clear it, it's kind of a subset of like 7 or 8 characters at the moment, which is again hilarious at that too. And then they should definitely go back to releasing them more frequently. Just plain and simple. More content, the better in the game. So that's Grand Voyage. Event Islands. I only have 2 dot points for Event Islands, which is just hilarious. But a lot of good solutions, I think. So issue 1, this is the biggest waste of space in the game right now. It provides nothing at all to the players, where 90% of the time it is empty and does not need to be checked, except for the daily gem quest, Blitz, and the trial Sugo Island. It is a waste of space. Insert the let's fight somewhere empty Dragon Ball meme. There is so much unutilized potential that it really shows where Bandai's head is at. And again, what I mean by this point is that, as the same thing goes for story mode and pretty much for Grand Voyage as well to some capacity, these modes don't make money. The Event Island makes no money. I guess except Blitz Battle, everything else in the Event Island makes no money. So my solutions: the easiest way to answer the lack of things in Event Island is to bring back a regular arena once a month. This would also boost the amount of free-to-play units that are available. It's not hard. Making content should not be this challenging to do so. Because I think the reason why content has slowed down so much is because the content is being very much tailored to the newest batch of characters, whatever they've released in. That creates an issue where making more content becomes difficult because you don't want to just recycle the exact same debuffs and buffs and so on. So instead, Throw that out the window, make some fun shit. Give people a challenge to have to do the puzzle aspect of Treasure Cruise. Allow us to utilize the system of 0 stamina till defeated to lose in the quest, the same way the Grand Voyage functions. It doesn't have to be that challenging, but at least bring back that puzzle sense, you know? The second dot point I have here is they should bring, so this is a concept I have. Bring back the concept of 24-hour raids, but instead there is 5 gems from CMMs where you earn them by beating the raid one time. So they bring back a raid, you have 24 hours to clear it, and if you clear it in that 24-hour period, you get 5 gems. This will add 5 gems per day over a month period, which is another 150 gems that get given to players by actually playing the game. And it also, they have, I think, somewhere between 40 odd raids and maybe 20 odd arenas, and heck, they even have like 20 to 30 coliseums as well. If you just recycle through those, that's 70 different things. That covers 70, 7, 14, 21, 20, 30. That's like the same thing will pop up once every 5 times a year. Sorry, I should say. Like, that's great. 5 gems. You have to clear it once. Plain and simple. Add it to the daily. Add it to the daily Chop Man missions. Easy money. You can easily cycle this once a day and go through all the raids at random time. Raids, arenas, coliseums, even fortnights. You could even bring back fortnights and do this with them too. Or the total farming events. You have so much content in the Recollection Archive that is unutilized. And then on top of that, you've not given players Recollection tomes to go and utilize the Recollection Archive. Again, very backwards mentality. Similarly, they should just rerun a piece of old content that lasts a week and refreshes every week. With this, they could also give out the same rewards that they were originally given for that content. So, for example, bring back the point farming events, or the the total farming events, and you can potentially give back the rewards that were acquired from playing it. Again, you don't have to add new characters into the game, but if you just give players the opportunity to go and play old content and giving them a reason to play it, not just to get level limit break on a fucking raid Mihawk that no one's ever going to use. People, as players, you clamor for rewards. The same way that as creators, the creators of the game, you clamor for people to spend money. It's a two-way street. Like a relationship, it's a two-way street. And then, last but not least, all in all, there needs to be something in Extra Island. Otherwise, they might as well remove it. They might as well remove Extra Island, save the data space, and just have a tab that you open up when Blitz Battle pops up. The same way that we have co-op, the same way that we have PKA, all that kind of stuff. Instead of having a whole entire Extra Island that sits there and does nothing, you might as well remove it. Plain and simple. Alright, now getting to some meat and taters. I'm going to pause the video real quick to get a glass of water, but I will be right back. And we're back. Thank you for sticking around. It's a really long video, but I appreciate everyone that's still watching. We get into co-op quest. This one's a behemoth, and we're going to get into the next couple of dot points are going to be pretty long because it's the major game modes in the game. I'm just going to read it verbatim. Co-op quest is the pinnacle of right idea, wrong execution. The fact that there are 25 potential mini bosses that appear on stage 3 and stage 4 is insane. Not only that, there is also 10 potential bosses you can face in the final stage. I don't know how to do the you can check how many potential options there are, but it's probably I think it's 25 times 24 for the mini bosses, and then 10 times 9 over 2 or something like that for the I don't know. There's a lot of potential combinations. The biggest issue with this is that there is no feasible way for you to be comfortably prepared to take on any arrangement of these bosses. And again, these are the issues with Co-op Quest. While I understand this is the gimmick with Co-op Quest, that you and your friend are meant to be prepared to support each other, the issue with this is that you have no idea what bosses you were going to face, and as such, you're screwed regardless if you get the wrong setup. And this is very prolific. You have endgame players, even though you try to build the most min-max team, if a particular final boss appears, you're going to lose. Plain and simple. You're just going to lose. The problem is not just the fact is not brought up by the fact that there is they try to boost only a few colors of the bosses appearing, because either way, if you get the wrong combination, you're still screwed. And this has happened. Generally, they'll boost the appearance of strength, int, and dex bosses. And while you can, to some capacity, build for them, it's only boosting the chance of them appearing. So, like, again, law of large numbers, you may never see a strength, int, or dex boss in that boosted kind of compendium, I suppose, for lack of a better word. And that's a really bad word to use anyway. The whole idea of upgrading characters in co-op actually provided no value, and there is no reason that you as a player should spend any resource to upgrade any of your co-op abilities, except maybe 1 or 2 captains at most. I have a Sai Otama max boosted, and I also have Sai Odin max boosted. It's like a debuff Donnie and an attack Donnie. Those are the only 2 characters I've boosted. I have very comfortably cleared co-op quest, all the Trouble Man missions, every single time I've played without needing a maximum boosted captain. Plain and simple. And that's not to say that co-op quests need to be harder. In fact, co-op quest needs to be easier. But there is genuinely no need to level up a character at all, because it, first of all, is so fucking expensive to do so. But secondly, having that kind of captain ability does nothing. Having the special does nothing. Having the resistance down does nothing. Plain and simple. Does absolutely nothing for you as a player at all. The worst part is that at its core, co-op quest started as being a monthly event that carried over the 4 seasons and has now devolved into twice every 3 months, which is hilarious. I agree with myself. I wrote this in the shower, as a matter of fact, for some inside baseball. Never made much sense to me, and the reason why they've done this is because they want players to prioritize playing Super Pirate Rumble, because that's kind of where it lined up, was that whenever Super Pirate Rumble was meant to be on, was when co-op quest was happening, and they want players to spend more gems on Super Pirate Rumble, as opposed to co-op quest. That's just the answer to that. What's funnier is that there's no value in the rewards that you earn. You kind of gain nothing, really. If you really think about it, you would take the rewards that you earn are taking you potentially 14 days over a 3-month extended period to maybe get 20 gems and 55 characters that you most likely already have, barring the new co-op quest unit. Plain and simple. And then on top of that, the funniest part is that if you're lucky to get good rewards, and if you're not just getting the average to share, you get shambolic. It's shambolic the rewards you get, at best. You have to get very lucky to get really good rewards, like 200 gems for getting first place. But getting first place is a lottery ticket, plain and simple. Also, the idea of making the current month's PKA quest available to play for 50% of the amount of stones you would earn per run from playing regular co-op quests also just makes no sense at all. The whole idea I thought about that event tab was to introduce playing old bits of content in co-op format, but they have just gone with putting the current PKA in co-op, which makes no sense. You would at least expect them to maybe put last month's PKA in co-op, or a couple like very, very old PKAs in co-op. But instead they just put the newest one, which again makes 0 sense at all. I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. Again, my beard looks horrific. I look fucking horrible. And the Grand Fee Sugo Fest is such a big waste of time, and rarely you'll ever get any value out of it. And it takes so fucking long to go through. It takes so long to go through the Grand Fee Sugo Fest. It is horrible. I hate it so much, and I despise spending my stones at all. Alright, we've got no issues, some solutions. The first course of action is to only have a limited number of mini-bosses / final bosses available per co-op season. That way, you can build teams, and you're not using the same team to clear it every single time. You can maybe build bespoke teams for certain combinations of classes and colors that you can go in and feel more consistently prepared to beat the bosses. And that's just plain and simple. That's just the truth of it. Instead of hitting a brick wall and your team may not have the right characters or specials available because the whole structure of the co-op quest is messed up to begin with, you can at least prepare more accordingly to the bosses that are available for that particular session of co-op. While the attempt to make a new power-up system completely fell flat on its face, allow players to use the co-op coins, I think they're called co-op coins or tokens, in other ways. My suggestions: similar to PKA statues that slightly increase the type damage, make it so you can spend tokens on upgrades, on upgrading the type and class damage for maximum of 50%. You're not using your co-op tokens or coins in any other way you might as well allow us to use it to make it easier to kind of upgrade these things as well. Further to this, you could allow players the upgrades to reduce the amount of stamina it costs to clear a quest, increase your overall luck, or reduce cooldowns. The list could go on. But imagine, like, being able to upgrade your overall luck so you can exceed that 200 luck barrier and get even better drops from a quest. The same way that you could, maybe give your characters, after spending a butt ton of co-op coins, like +5 cooldown at the start of a quest, so you can use non-boosted classes and colors. That'd be pretty cool too. Be more creative with the event tab other than just putting the current PK. Offer previous events, blitz battles, raids, etc. for players to try out in co-op format. The second last dot point here, greatly increase the amount of total rewards given after 2 months of playing the mode. 20 gems for playing for 3 months of waiting is not enough, period. It sucks. 20 gems is nothing. 20 gems is not even half a multi. It's 2/3 of a discount multi at that too. So you cannot do anything with 20 gems. Further to that, the characters that they're putting in the Grand Feast banners is horrible. So as such, they should add game mode exclusive characters into the banners. With that, they could even rotate in Super Sugo Fest and anniversary exclusive characters at a much lower rate. If there's 10 legends and every legend is 0.5, make these Super Sugo Fest or any exclusive characters 0.1 or 0.05 even at that too. But having them there brings a sense of excitement about it as well. You don't have to put the latest ones in, but it's an opportunity to recycle these units into the game again. Same thing as adding in supports, Kazuna rare recruits, Rumble rare recruits, TM rare recruits, and all their legends associated as well. That's co-op quest. Now the big three, TM, Rumble, and Kazuna, and then I have the very heated Grand Party as well, and PK actually. Oh my god, and Sugo Fest. I have so much more to talk about. We're 42 minutes in. Oh my god. Treasure map issues. Even after all of the updates that have come to this mode, the mode is still horrifically bad. The sad part is that even after 5+ years, this is still the only consistent method to get lemon break materials. The boosted list is reducing to fewer and less viable units. And so of this, the units that are boosted are generally only pullable ones, which makes it even harder. And I think the reason why I put that there is that they have slowly cut the amount of free-to-play units that are boosted every TM for the last 9 months, which is really bad. Some of the bosses are overtly difficult for no reason. If you think playing at a lower difficulty will help you, as a newer player, for example, you're just going to get punished by the amount of drops and rewards that you get. The card system is great, which is a really cool kind of mechanic in principle, but again, you are punished if you don't have the boosters, as the chance of the cards activating is very unlikely, or just, not having the specific characters means you get less benefit from those cards as well. This is probably the only time I'll bring up like loading and stuff, but the clunkiness of loading the friends list every single time, it taking longer and longer to clear every single boss, actually extends the length of your run in a TM run. I think, on average, a TM run could take you anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes, but chuck loading in friends list every single time, that then gets extrapolated out to 30 minutes potentially, that too. And overall, the gameplay loop of TM is monotonous and boring. Now, we have bashed on TM for quite a while on this, me as an individual as well, but my quick solutions to TM would be just add more units back to the boosted list. There is no harm in having a lot of 1.2x characters available for players to use, or even have every TM rare recruit ever be a permanent 1.1x boost, the same way every TM legend is always boosted. At this point, the point and ranking rewards need to be doubled to keep up with how many legends are releasing, and for endgame players, there needs to be more. It needs to be an increase in gold keys. We do not get enough limit break materials. We are releasing 5 legends a month, and we get enough limit break materials to maybe limit break, not even expand, limit break like 2 of them, which doesn't add up. And then I don't know why they haven't done this, but when you get your ranking rewards, you should also receive blue tickets. The same way that you get Rumble tickets from ranking rewards there. Changes to shards was good because they added a new mechanic where you can get 2x shards as a drop, and I think every drop now is 2x shards, which is fantastic. Literally double the amount of shards you got from clearing the map bosses, which is awesome. But now that needs to be put across all materials. So I think in a fair sense, you should have a range of drops for shards to be 2, 3, 4, and 5, or even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The crystals, the medium-sized crystals should be 1, 2, 3, and then the orb should be 1, 2. That way, you have a nice stretch of how many rewards you're getting there. Revamp the TM shop so that limit materials and tablets are slightly cheaper, or double the amount of blue tickets that we are receiving through rewards. Again, TM is the only way to viably get limit materials and such. And also, you can get unlimited tablets from TM shop as well. So like, take it as it comes. And then reduce the amount of space on the map that needs to be traversed. That way, players can actually get through the map faster, and quickly play the game a lot more. Speed up things, as Treasure Cruiser's whole motto now is efficiency and effectiveness of how players play the game. Efficiency is the key metric right now to make it faster for players to do it. Kazuna, issue number 1, damage cap. Need I say more? Super Boss is way too difficult for no reason. Same thing. Most, if not all of the time, the boosted units cap out and end up being replaced. On top of this, they are hardly ever valuable in Super Boss. Kazuna Shop is a waste of time, and even after the slight changes. This also includes the changes to the cost of skulls. No one cares. It still takes you 10 years, 10 consistent years of playing Kazuna to go and upgrade everything. Kazuna potions are way too expensive. It's hilarious. In the past, you could only purchase potions from the gem shop, and you got given potions for free. They reduced the amount of potions you get for free. I think you don't get any at all anymore. And then they added them to the Kazuna Insignia shop, where the amount of insignias you spend on a potion does not equate to how much that potion would actually provide you. Not fair at all. Boxes 1 to 7 are stupid and provide no value. Even if you are a newer player, the tomes and berries can be achieved easier in a lot of other places, especially the berries. Berry Cave is an incredible thing to farm. Kazuna Insignia is still inside the Kazuna jail theory. The fact that we only still get like 200 insignias per Kazuna makes no sense at all. Like, period. Plain and simple. The point scoring system of Kazuna really does punish alliance-based gameplay. Even if the mode is alliance-based, you do feel like for the most part it is a solo mode, and there's no real need to cooperate. It is called Pirate Alliance Kazuna as well. It's all about your Pirate Alliance, but there's no need to play with the Alliance. Your Alliance doesn't really provide much, unfortunately. It is a very solo mode, and then you, instead of like having it, which I guess was the idea of Super Boss to begin with, was everyone supporting each other there, which they have ruined now with the damage cap. The whole point of it was that you as an alliance would go together and support each other and get points. But in reality, it's just 10 individuals scoring points, and that resulted in an overarching score. Ranking rewards are non-existent. You literally play Kazuna to get your 30 gems. That's it. Everything else in ranking rewards, you get like 1,000 tickets, which is really bad. You get like some tablets, which again is really bad. You don't get any insignias from ranking rewards, which is a big mistake. So on and so on. Kazuna stamina is horribly designed. Just so shit. Like 10 hours to get a full stamina bar is insane. Especially when the content lasts like 100 and something hours. Like, I think, if I remember correctly, like you get 250 tokens on average, I think it's something like that, per Kazuna for free. Which is like 20 runs. Not enough. Time between assists is silly. Yes. Oh my god. 15 minutes is too long. Make it 5. Plain and simple. Now with issues, we have solutions. The solutions. If you want to keep scaling up the Super Boss HP exponentially, then you need to remove the damage cap to give players the freedom to build teams. I will never forget when Stump D Gacha showed me a team where Final Tap dual form Yamato, with her Final Tap, hit 14 trillion damage by herself. One tap. And then it got reduced to 1,000,000,009 or whatever it was. Insane. If you want to keep the damage cap and the scaling, then you need to make the gimmicks for Super Bosses way more manageable so that a larger pool of players are able to consistently hit the damage cap. Yes, if you want to make Super Boss scale up to 20, 30, 50, 100 trillion, then you need to allow players to hit 1 trillion. Don't add in an overt amount of gimmicks to super bosses. Also, an idea, increase the alliance boost so it exceeds 1.5x. 1.5x is archaic. It's so old-fashioned. The alliance boost you should get a 0.5 boost per alliance member that's joining. Or a 0.25 boost. Make it a little simpler, right? Or maybe like a 0.2 boost. I don't know. There are plenty of ways you could approach it, right? But like 1.5x for 10 alliance members to be coordinated enough to all join in on the super boss at any given time is not enough. Plain and simple. The difficulty of bosses needs a rework, especially if you're going to cap how many runs newer players can do on 3 and 7 star. Shout out Tony and I, but mainly Tony, for breaking the game in its entirety by creating the 3-star strat. I would love one day to tell the whole story from start to finish of how the 3-star strat came about. But the fact that they capped how many runs you can do, first of all, was hilarious, because fuck you, Bandai. But second of all, is the fact that a newer player was meant to farm 3 and 7 star, but now they can't farm it forever. But furthermore, the points you earn from 3 and 7 star are irrelevant. You're not going to rank it all. You're not going to actually provide any benefit to your alliance by playing 3 and 7 star and clearing 100 runs. 100 runs is equal to like 30 runs in 10 star. That's a lot of resources required, right? What, this little hair here, man, I gotta fucking snip it off or some shit, dude. It just looks so bad. The amount of tickets you earned from Super Boss should grow exponentially with its HP. The fact that, like, pretty much every level of pretty much every level of Super Boss gives you +1 ticket to the overall, starting with a base of 100. It's not enough. It's just not enough. It's not enough tickets. You're not rewarded enough as a player for doing that many Super Bosses, especially the high-end alliances that are really competing. It's not enough. An entire revamp needs to occur with boxes 1 to 7, with the main focus being around tablets. In box 7, there should be a one-time chance to get each of the gold tablets, and when you reset, you can no longer get them. This should be across both variants of Kazuna. At least then, you're getting an additional gold tablet every month. That's fantastic. That'd be so good. Putting in a copy of a legend is a great idea, I should say, but you should explore that. But should be explored further to maybe also add the Super Evo skulls of older characters for newer players. Again, same thing. You need to cut. We need to advertise. We need to look at getting newer players into the game, because in recent times, the amount of people playing TM is falling off more and more and more, and that's causing a lot of concern in reality. Double or triple the amount of insignias should be tripled. We should be earning like anywhere between 500 to 1,000 insignias per Kazuna. Plain and simple again. And insignias should be droppable items. The same way the tickets and tokens are. You should also make Super Boss tokens droppable. You should also make insignias droppable from clearing bosses. So that way, maybe players have a bit more of an incentive for doing the suicide strat. Again, you're welcome for the suicide strat, OPTC community. Add Kazuna exclusive tickets into the boxes. Could also add guaranteed legends. I think the concept of having gold tickets in the boxes was good in principle, but again, in practice was really bad because you were just pulling really shitty rare recruits. So instead, add them back in, but have them as game mode exclusive, in particular, Kazuna exclusive tickets. Kazuna shop needs a revamp, potions need to be cheaper, skulls need to be halved in price again, and that is still in line with the current cost of skulls. A skull should cost no more than 10 insignias. If that, should cost 5 maybe. And if you need 5 of them, then 25 is a great deal. Or make it so you can purchase a pack of 5 skulls for a slightly discounted rate as opposed to purchasing single skulls. Again, plain and simple, new systems. The assist system should reward you more for helping a player. There should, and then on top of that, there should also be a separate tab specifically showing your alliance members. At times, I'm only looking towards supporting my alliance members. My alliance members are calling out in our various chat rooms that there is they have an assist up, and I can't find it because I am inundated with random other assists that don't align. And I get that there are certain tricks of the trade where, if you're a specific level, then you're going to see people around that level, so on and so on. I get that and all that kind of stuff, but like, you shouldn't have to coordinate that much to be able to help your team member, which is the core mechanic of how assists should work. And then finally, the last 2 points here, cut the refresh time of stamina in half. So from 10 hours to 5 hours, you get 1 stamina per hour. And then reduce the amount of time between assists to 5 minutes. Plain and simple. I think a lot of those changes would support everyone in that kind of regard for Kazuna. I'm going to pause again, take another drink of water, and I'll be right back. Alright, now on to Pyre Rumble and Gather Island. Which kind of like low-key, Pyre Rumble has become my favorite game mode, which is kind of a weird thing to say. Purely because, which is kind of, again, a really backwards mentality, but like the fact that I can like set it up, go do something for like a minute, and then, you know, or two, and then come back, rinse, repeat, is probably the best part about it. And the fact that it does not necessarily require my consistent attention all the time. Issues though with Pyre Rumble plus Gather Island, so combining all this into 1 point. Playing Rumble is way too expensive. On top of that, the lack of Rumble tickets makes it extremely challenging, if not borderline impossible, to max out the Gather Island. I'm pretty confident that no one has maxed out the entire island on global. Probably some players are pretty close, but I'm pretty confident no one has. On JP, I'm pretty confident people have. But I believe JP version had Rumble for an extra year and a bit before Global did. Maybe like 9 months even. So like, take that as you will. The amount of tickets you earn has not changed since the mode was introduced. And Gather Island has not seen any changes since its introduction. Besides the claim all button from Gather Island. And there may be some changes that occurred that I don't remember exactly. But again, like, you know, I try my best to be a walking encyclopedia of the game, but I can't remember everything. Needing to be top 500 and on a win streak to benefit from the most points just rewards those who are investing more in the mode than the average player. The entire Rumble shop is a joke, purely because of how rare / difficult it is to acquire Rumble tickets. Defending is very lackluster and does not really provide much reward. Most of the time, Rumble turns into a refresh simulator where you are waiting to find an opponent that you can beat. Plus, the rules barely do anything. Now, my solutions to Rumble. Increase the Rumble matches from 3 to 5. This way, people using natural stamina get a lot more out of Rumble daily, and simultaneously, those gemming get a lot more out of the gems that they can use. This really would change a lot of things. If you look at it in a perfect world, if you were using free stamina, plus you were in the right position to get 27 points a run, you're getting an additional 54 tickets per day, which, I mean, over a year adds up to another 15,000 tickets, which isn't a lot, but it's more than what you started with, and it's for free. And then on top of that, if you're gemming, you're going to get so many more tickets, which in turn allows you to actually max out the Gather Island. On top of this, I reckon your win streak should correspond to how many more additional tickets you earn, or it could give you a ticket multiplier. Refreshing would remove the multiplier, so players are now incentivized to taking the challenging teams on. This is kind of like probably a touchy point. I think a lot of people will not agree with me on this point here, but the whole idea of a win streak should be that if you're on a win streak, you should be rewarded for being on a win streak. Not like only being rewarded, like you get rewarded for like the first couple wins in a win streak. I think it maxes out at like 7 or 8 wins, but after that point, even if you get a win streak of like 400 wins, let's say, there is no added benefit. What they probably could do is potentially, whatever your win streak is, they just give you that many additional tickets per clear. Maybe not giving you more points. Maybe they live the points separately, but maybe promoting a better environment where, like, if you're on a win streak of 10 and you've just cleared a 27 point team, you now get 37 tickets. Something like that, you know? I think that would be incredible. And then on top of that, add that caveat of if you refresh, you lose the streak. You don't lose how many points you earn. So remove this connection between win streak and win streaking and how many points you earn, but add in this idea of like, if you're on a win streak, you get more tickets. So now you're incentivized to either play. Do you want to play for points, or do you want to play for how many tickets you want to earn? If you want to play for how many tickets you want to earn, you're now more likely to look at the team that's there in that slot and try to build a team to beat it. Or you may actually go and verse the lower level teams. Maybe the lower level teams don't actually give you a win on your win streak, but they don't remove the win streak. So there's a lot of strategy that could be involved in here. But then again, playing at a lower level actually gives you less points for the stamina that you're spending on the challenge. So it's like, you know, there's more layers to this puzzle here. Revamping the Rumble shop and making everything at minimum 75% cheaper. Furthermore, just put rainbow flags, or rainbow scrolls I should say, and turtles into the shop. Let people have more means to acquire more like units and such too. Please do something with Gather Island. Just for the love of God, do something with Gather Island. Like, make it cheaper, but even if you make it cheaper, like, doesn't matter, but add more islands in. And here are some examples of islands you could add in. Add in an island that is a character cooldown. So you can upgrade this island to a maximum of getting +3 cooldown. It's +1, then 2, then 3. That's how it could like level up. You know, that'd be fantastic. Cooldown is the most beneficial aspect of this entire game. Makes playing quests a lot easier. Solves a lot of problems in certain quests as well. So have that be the case. So that, a base stat boosting island, where similar to how we have in PKA, and similar to how I suggested in co-op, you can boost the base stats of units period by upgrading this island. Ship boosting island, so you can boost the base stats of ships the same way now that they have base stats. Boost the base stats of them. You can maybe boost the gimmicks. You could boost their multipliers. There's a lot of ways you could do with that. And then a debuff protection island. And what I mean by this is, maybe you can upgrade this island, and every time you upgrade it, you minus 1 from a particular debuff. So maybe you start off by minusing 1 bind, 1 despair, 1 paralysis, and then working your way up, being 1% damage reduction, 1 defense up, 1 threshold, 1 turn of barrier, so on and so on and so on. And like, obviously having those high caveat ones at higher levels, and you can make this island very expensive to upgrade too. But having a flat way to remove debuffs would be awesome. Even if you lower it down and have it only be bind, despair, paralysis, damage reduction, defense up, and threshold, having the ability to remove those 5 or those 6 or whatever it is, like by 1 turn or 2 turns extra, would just be so great. And then you could puzzle so many better teams out and clear content in so much more unique ways. And this would support, you know, even things like Grand Voyage, PKA, super bosses, for example, and it would allow you to use more characters in more unique ways because you're removing debuffs. And then finally, in terms of Gather Island, offer super success style times during anniversaries, etc., where upgrades are cheaper and veteran players can make a lot more progress. Obviously, this is very much tailored towards veteran players, but at the same time, if you had like a 24-hour period where upgrades were like 20% cheaper, you could newer players could progress their Gather Island so much faster. And I think that Gather Island is a very underutilized tool, the same way that Rumble in itself is a very underutilized game mode. And it is just in its entirety, it's very lackluster and very monotonous. Grand Party, next one, everyone's favorite game mode. Issues. I say this with a lot of pain in my chest, and I think people are going to clown on me. Unironically, Grand Party is one of the better game modes in Treasure Cruise, which is a crazy thing to say, but it is. However, the short day, punishes players if they're not able to play in the initial period. The latter stages of wins make no sense to hide all of your opponent's teams. At that point, it is pure luck. Getting a majority of the rewards putting a majority of the rewards behind a maximum number of wins is stupid. And for those that may enjoy collecting titles, having no way to acquire them again seems very strange. The lack of variety of leaders makes the mode extremely mundane, although the recent steps to pseudo-banning leaders has led to slightly more variety. And the reason why I kind of bring this up as one of the better modes in Treasure Cruise is that Grand Party, although you see for the most part Int Luffy's, Dex Kaidos running around and stuff like that, Grand Party is probably the only puzzle related game mode in Treasure Cruise, because The rules actually play a massive factor in Grand Party. Furthermore, the type of leader you have plays a massive factor. The types of team you build, the strategy you go when you go up against certain types of teams. What team are you using against what? When are you popping your Grand Party specials? All of this actually plays a massive factor in Grand Party in its entirety, and as such, makes it unironically a pretty good game mode with flaws, as every game mode has. So my two solutions, I only have two for Grand Party. One, add an extra set of matches, adding one extra set of 3 matches per day for just one extra day or 3 extra matches would pretty much solve every problem with Grand Party. This way, players would have 18 chances to achieve 15 wins, which gives them leeway to max in the rewards. If you miss out on day 1 worth of matches, you're not punished and you can still acquire the rewards. This solves everything. Plain and simple. 3 extra matches solves pretty much every single problem. Also, add in Rumble tickets. Add in Rumble tickets to when you win as well. The hard and fast truth of it. One thing I should have actually mentioned that I've just thought of for Pirate Rumble, if for Super Pirate Rumble, when you rank, add Rumble tickets to the ranking rewards. There should just be more ways to earn Rumble tickets. That's Grand Party. Pretty easy solutions. Actually solves the game mode very simply. Alright, now we're into like the big two. Well, the last two at least. PKA, and then the last thing I've got here is Sugo Fest. PKA, issues. Gating gems behind the need to farm something that is not guaranteed is pointless and reductive. The fact that you have increased the level of the PKA level to level 300, but HP exceeds the amount of damage a player can do due to the damage cap is purely backwards mentality. Not having boosters makes it nearly impossible to complete all of the time-gated CMMs. And on top of that, time-gating the Chopper Man missions in the first place is horrific. All helpers except Zoro are pretty much useless. And I'm completely aware that Sanji and Usopp may be useful, but even then they're still useless. There is no incentive to go to level 300, and even going to 200 is also a whatever for most players. Removing pretty much every way to get Cola and then making it cost tickets where you barely get any tickets in the first place is horrific. The same issue with boosters where if you don't have all of them, there is really no point in using them on a team, and they are better off with their passive buff opposed to having them in the content itself. And the last point here, once you have completed the Chopperman missions, there is really no reason to keep playing, and this also includes once you've completed all of the time-gated, and also includes once the time-gated missions are over, like as in the times exceeded. PKA is really a sad example of them really attempting to do something different, but kind of fucking it up entirely. And again, my solutions for this, either remove the time gate to the CMMs or make it so Himeis are guaranteed after level 150. 30 Himeis being needed to get all of the rewards, and mind you, the rewards that they've added aren't necessarily new. The main reward you're getting here is 2 cola and 30 or 20 gems, of which these rewards have just been removed from the initial 500 turtles. Why? So you have to do something where you're either removing the time gate and giving players the full 30 or 28 day duration to get all the rewards, or once a player hits 150, which is very achievable without Zoro in the first 3 to 4 days, and you can see I have put a thread for every PKA since the recent changes. That Banda has seen, mind you, I should say as well, and does keep track of. Having it guaranteed after 150 would solve a lot of problems as well. Increase the amount of cola you can purchase from the shop and make it a cola pack. So instead of purchasing 1 cola for 1 ticket, make it purchasing 100 cola for 1 ticket. I have played PKA every single PKA. I've not missed a single one. I've attempted the time gated missions every single time. I've not played further than that, but I sit comfortably at about 1,200 PKA tickets. That is only 1,200 cola. You need 15,000 cola to even get a ship to level 12. Where are you meant to get the 15,000 cola from? The easy answer is the race shop, right? But again, new to mid-game players do not have the raid points that veteran players do have to purchase this cola. These are the things that have to be considered if you want to keep bringing players into the game. Improve rewards and drops across the board, especially since PKA has become the main mode for XP, and they've kind of done this where after level 150 there is no more cola dropping, which is ironic because you still need a lot of cola. They've made it so only turtles drop, which is great, but at the same time, the Daimyo turtles suck. The Elder turtles are kind of good, but just give us more Himeis. Himeis is the hard and fast truth. It is actually more time efficient, and I've tested this. It is more time efficient to go and farm the GP Usopp, the 5 stamina islands for colored turtles, than it is to go and play PKA every single day for potential chance of Rainbow Himeis, even if you have all the boosters. Let players refresh more stamina per day. What the fuck? Like, we have all this stamina schmeat that we can't use because we can only refresh the PKA stamina twice. Like, that's so ridiculous. Let us refresh the entire bar if we want to. It's our stamina. This is not a competitive mode. Give people an incentive to go pull the new units so you can get more out of the new units. It would actually make the end of month batch more valuable by letting us farm 9 stamina per day, if you wanted to, at least. And then the last point I have here is making every item in the PKA shop just way cheaper. Like, it is so expensive. A Hime for 25 tickets is insane, especially when you need to purchase 75 Himeis to get a character to level 150. I can't even do that math in my head, but that's a lot. That's like half of the amount of tickets I currently have right now to get a character to 150. Doesn't make much sense at all, if I'm going to be honest with you. So, PKA is a lost mode. PKA is lost mode. The final main point that I want to bring up here, other than some final dot points and my final words, and I get that we've been here for over an hour now, and I'm probably going to chop out a lot of the video, a lot of the ums and the ahs and me complaining about my beard looking horrible. But the last point I want to bring here is Sugo Fest, which again, as we mentioned at the very start of the video, is the main point of Troja Cruise at this point in time. The issues. I have 5 dot points here, and I could go on and on, but the 5 main dot points I have here. 5 legends per month means a maximum of 7.5k gems to spend. When you are only getting 500 free-to-play gems per month, you will rarely ever be in a position to own every character. The structure is horrible. And I want to make a great point that Todd has always brought up for a very long period of time, where Troja Cruise is one of the few, if not only, gacha games that has a 10+1 system, where when you do a multi or a summon, you get the 10 characters from the summon plus an additional free character, which is a great thing to consider, but at the same time, that +1 is very rarely ever valuable. And even with this, the overall structure still lacks any form of reward. 30 multis for a legend is too much, especially since most legends these days have abilities that require duplicate copies. Still no guaranteed rare recruits or boosters like they have done in the past. And I get that sometimes they have done it really weirdly, where it's like 8 multis for a rare recruit or 8 multis for a booster, and they have the whole idea of like the new character system as well. Still very backwards. And the final point here, part 1 is either the most horrific part to pull on, or it is the best. And the lack of consistency with banners leads to fatigue within players. Sugo Fests are horrible. Sugo Fests suck. Sugo Fests provide little to no value ever. And as such, is the most toxic and mind-numbingly brain rot, burnout part of the entire game. The solutions I have to Sugo Fest, and mind you, I also talk about the gem shop and metal exchange here as well. You either make gems more accessible or make it cheaper to purchase, or you decrease the cost of cost per multi. These are the 3 easiest ways to make Sugo Fest better. Give players double the amount of gems per month, make gems cheaper to purchase in terms of dollar to gem ratio, or decrease the cost per multi. Plain and simple. While it is a meme, bring back 30 gem or 1 gem multis scattered throughout a structure. It was actually really positive when this happened at the time, because it actually brought down the overall cost to guarantee a legend, And more often than not, it actually enticed more players to do that one extra multi. A lot of the time, you do your multis, you then do a 1-gem multi, and you might, oh, I'll stop there. But then you're like, oh, but in 2 more multis, there's another 1-gem multi. So I'll do 2 or 3 more multis. I'll do the 1-gem multi. And then you keep going and going and going and going and going. And then, like, you're now at 30 multis. And that was really good. No unit should cost more than 1,000 gems to guarantee. Just, it should not. A rare recruit should be guaranteed no later than 4 multis. The same goes for boosters and support units. And in a sense, if there are multiple rare recruits, then you can guarantee each one separately across multiple parts. I have banged on that door for half a decade now, where if you have 3 parts and 3 rare recruits, make 1 guaranteed per part. That way, if people want all of the rare recruits, they're more often than not likely to just do 4 multis per part. So you're going to do 12 multis on a banner you didn't want to pull on, but you now guarantee the rare recruits. And again, having 3 rare recruits is fantastic. Now you get more points, more boosts, so on and so on. Although it kind of counteracts the idea of having not all the boosters, but having the rare recruits is great at the end of the day. And guaranteeing them is fantastic. And the last part here, the last couple parts here is just fucking slow down on how many legends you're releasing. There is no need to be releasing 5 legends a month. It would be so much better to release at maximum 1 to 3 legends per month and make them really good. Make me want to pull for 1 to 3 legends per month. Instead, we're releasing 5+ legends per month and they collect dust after a week or 2. It's insane. The last 2 points around Sugo Fests and that kind of stuff. The gem shop, gems are way too expensive. Either reduce the cost of the current gem packs or actually have proper sales where the gem packs are reduced in price, not just more gems for more money. And people also would not be against more daily login packs. The daily login pack is actually like the best thing that's happened to the entire Sugo Fest gem shop thing. And having more kind of login packs would actually be fantastic. The medal exchange. This is another example of right idea, wrong execution. A legend costing 600 medals, which is equivalent to 50 multis, is ballistic. There is such a missed opportunity to sell items like gold tablets, limit break packs, etc. I know that they do sell, obviously, the ink effect pens. No one cares about them. And they also sell 1 poster for like 100 or 200 tokens. Again, that's also like absolutely insane. It's too much. Way too much. The way they sell posters is just too expensive, and you'd be better off just pulling a dupe of the unit. You actually be more likely to pull a dupe of the unit in the amount of tokens you're going to get to buy that poster. That's the crux of everything. I guess in other stuff, just very rapid fire. Pyro Alliance, when are they going to utilize the Alliance level? Being an Alliance really provides nothing. I'm sorry to say, but it's very true. Being an Alliance is just an opportunity to just be with your friends. That's just what it is. Menus, still incredibly clunky and take forever to load because the game is built like shit and is old as hell. That's it. Quality of life, genuinely the only positive part of the game, as it seems like this gets updated a few times a year, which is great. But again, up the pace. We are doing fantastically right now with the community communication. Management letters are really good, but it would be really nice to actually see evidence of taking on feedback. That's the big thing. They request feedback, they request surveys, but we never really get to see evidence of them looking at feedback and addressing it and making themselves accountable. And furthermore, that makes us as a community accountable for providing actionable feedback, as opposed to saying, give me gem, give me more gem. And the last point I want to bring up before my final thoughts and how I'm going to approach OPTC in 2025 is strongman missions. Recent updates to CMMs have been good, but the need to keep on innovating on ways to give players more rewards. Premium CMMs should go up to 500 requests, and completing all premium missions should give 100-200 gems per month. There's so many strongman missions that happen that it is so easy to achieve the current stack of premium missions. Increase that like tenfold. Make so many more missions. Make players want to go and get all the missions done and do everything and like so on and so on. Give more gems too. The final point here: stop time gating missions. If the content is going to be out for 5 days, then the missions should follow suit. If something like PKA is out for 30 days, then all the missions should be out for 30 days too. That's it. That is an hour, almost an hour and a half of me yapping about my thoughts on OPTC in 2024. I guess to round it out, I don't know where my head's at with Trader Cruise in 2025. I think I'm going to definitely take a step back in terms of pulling on banners. Going to be a lot more precise with where I spend my gems. I guess in terms of playing the game, I think I'm playing it at a very comfortable rate where I'm not 100% consistently devoted to just constantly farming the game at all times. But at the same time, I'm very comfortable with how much I'm playing it. So, like, I'm taking it as I will. Plus, it also kind of aligns to how I approach my alliance and how my alliance plays the game as well. In terms of content for myself, I'd love for them to innovate further and add new ways to play the game that aren't just the 6 units tapping on the screen. I've brought this up a million times. Add more ways for players to be rewarded, reduce ranking events and the necessity for ranking events, and just innovate. One Piece is this miraculous IP that we are so blessed that OPTC is based on. Innovate. Make new ways to play the game. Make new ways to reward players. Bring back the puzzle aspect of the game. I have so many suggestions for potential game modes. Damage ranking events should make a comeback. Add fetch quest style game modes that kind of take time and you get rewarded based upon fulfilling the correct requirements. The list would go on and on. You know, have 12 units in a crew. Instead of Rumble being 5v5 and 3 bench, just make it 8v8 or 10v10. New ways, change it up. You know, add different rule sets to Rumble as well. Again, not everything should be revolved around pulling for boosters and using those boosters in content. Plain and simple. But without further ado, if you've made it this far, I'm truly blessed if you've made it this far to the end of the video. I am just one man, and I speak very transparently and wholeheartedly. I have no affiliation to Bandai. Bandai actually does not like me as an individual whatsoever. They've made that very clear to numerous people on numerous occasions. So I'm here as a martyr, I suppose, for lack of a better word, or as a pillar of the community to try my best to keep improving Trader Cruise and keep speaking where improvement should be made. And I think I do a very good job on speaking on the good and the bad at all possible moments and providing not only the problems or pointing out the problems per se, but also providing the solutions to the problems as well. But like I said, if you made it this far, I do greatly appreciate it. I am profusely sweating. My camera looks like shit. But if you've listened, you're the best. And without further ado, have a wonderful and safe holiday, Christmas period. Have a happy new year. And here's to Trader Cruise in 2025. That was my thoughts on OPTC in 2024. Catch you guys next time. Peace.